6 Facts about hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are divided into 338 species, all of which belong to the Trochilidae biological family. Hummingbirds can be found across the Americas, with the majority of species dwelling in tropical areas in Central and South America. A few species can be found as far north as Alaska on rare occasions, but they tend to migrate rather than live there all year. Hummingbirds have long been renowned for their beauty and agility, and today we'll learn more about what makes these intriguing feathered buddies tick. 1. Hummingbirds must feed themselves up to 8 times every hour. Hummingbird with brilliant colors eating purple flowers. A hummingbird's typical diet consists of both nectar and tiny insects. Nectar is a sweet liquid that is found in many flowers and is made up of fructose, sucrose, and glucose. Hummingbirds can't subsist exclusively on nectar because it's essentially just sugar with very few other nutrients. To supplement their food, they eat on insects while in flight, frequently hovering in the middle of a swarm and snapping them up. However, neither of these sources of food can compensate for the amount of energy expended by a hummingbird while flying, necessitating regular feeding. 2. Hummingbirds dislike being in the cold. The frigid weather does not seem to bother a soaring hummingbird. The majority of hummingbird species, as previously said, are migratory birds. During the winter, most hummingbirds migrate to the tropics, with species from the north migrating south and those from the south migrating north. Having said that, hummingbirds can still be observed in the winter. The rufous hummingbird has been spotted in North America during the winter. This isn't always the case, though. The rufous hummingbird can migrate up to 3,000 miles, 4,828 kilometers, from Alaska to Mexico when it wants to. 3. Hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backward in the world. A soaring hummingbird with reverse wings. Hummingbirds get their name from the buzzing sound their wings produce when they beat fast. With this in mind, it's no surprise that hummingbird flight has long been researched. We now have a far better understanding of how hummingbirds fly and what distinguishes them thanks to contemporary technology. High-speed cameras and wind tunnels were used to film larger hummingbird species beating their wings at 12 beats per second and smaller species flapping their wings at more than 80 beats per second. They're also quick flyers, with some species reaching high speeds of 34 miles per hour, 54 kilometers per hour. They can also fly backwards, which is quite cool. 4. Natural predators of hummingbirds are many. A brightly colored hummingbird perches on a tree branch. Even with their remarkable mobility, it's no wonder that a bird of such little stature has a greater pool of predators. It just boils down to the reality that the smaller a creature is, the smaller a predator must be, and therefore there are more. Hummingbirds are preyed upon by a variety of predators, including reptiles such as lizards and snakes, as well as insects. Insects, indeed. Hummingbirds can be caught in mid-flight by some of the larger praying mantis species. Hummingbirds have been caught in the webs of spiders like the orbweaver. 5. Hummingbirds hibernate at night to avoid going hungry. A sleeping green hummingbird on a tree branch. Hummingbirds have fast metabolisms, which means that whatever they eat is metabolized and used up so quickly that they are virtually always hungry. In fact, they devour over half their body weight during the day to maintain their energy levels. A hummingbird would starve to death if it slept like most other creatures. A hummingbird will instead undergo torpor, a deep sleep condition in which its entire body shuts down, to survive the night. Their heart rate lowers from 1,000 to less than 100 beats per minute, and their core temperature drops from 104 to 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 to 18 degrees Celsius. Despite the fact that this drastic transformation permits them to survive the night, they nonetheless lose up to 10% of their body weight. 6. Hummingbirds are one of the most combative bird species. Hummingbird with a hostile appearance. You don't say to yourself, "Wow, what an aggressive bird. I better watch out," when you see a hummingbird. The fact that hummingbirds are small is the main reason we aren't afraid of them. They're far too small to pose a threat. This is not the case in the world of birds. Hummingbirds have been known to battle off much larger birds like crows, jays, and even hawks in order to protect their territory. Stay tuned for more updates.